Alrighty, so UFC 324 is concluded. We're moving into a new week of 325, and we're riding that high still. Okay, I might have the Patty the Batty fucking haircut going on right now. Not a haircut, just naturally grows that way. Unfortunately, got the English gene. But a recap, I just want to go over for UFC 324. Went 9-2 on picks, got the main event wrong. I did end up picking Patty the Batty. I did not. I wasn't one of those Patty by domination, Patty by whatever way he wants. I was given flowers for Justin Gaethje. He even said he was the higher skilled fighter. I just thought he was going to get randomly chinned. Turned out, didn't happen. And then I got the Charles Johnson pick wrong. I thought he was. I think he's sneaky good, but maybe Father Time's taking a toll on good old Charles Johnson. And he's just not the same, you know? He got fucking pieced up by Perez, absolutely whooped. I didn't do a breakdown for the event, but most of the fights went pretty much according to plan. O'Malley, even as a D1 O'Malley Glazer, there's an argument that's a robbery. Okay, there's a hey, somebody can say that argument. I'm not gonna disagree. Okay, but we are happy that O'Malley's back in the win column. What else was there? Ateba Guatar. That fight was interesting. We got to see a lot from Ateba. Same thing with Paddy Pimlet. It's almost good that they went the distance because we got to see like where they're at, how tough they are, if they've got okay cardio, whatever the case may be. Saw some people saying Ateba was a robbery. I disagree. Don't give a fuck. He dropped him like 6 times in the first 2 rounds. I think stat-wise it was like 2 times each round or something. If you watch the fight, you know why Ateba won those 2 rounds. It's very clear and easy. Last round, you could have gave to, I forget his name, Puliev, I think. Could have given it to him. Don't really care. Ateba was still a monster. Did his thing. Didn't get fraud checked. Other than that, Umar had a very unimpressive performance. I see a lot of Umar Glazers hopping off the train. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, boys. Hey, we've been off that train since Beksat Almacan. Hey, welcome to the club, boys. We welcome you with open arms. Fuck Umar. And I'll start that narrative. Prime Figueiredo would have beat that version of Umar Nurmagomedov, and I've said it. We're going to move on to the next event. That being UFC 325. You know how these videos go by now. I'm going to be predicting every single fight. Now, I've pretty much only had the main event locked in my brain for the past little bit. And if you're wondering, I do streams. I'm going to be streaming on this event, so come hang out for that. Maybe pop in, say what's up, hello, how you doing, and then maybe go to a better YouTuber like fucking MMA Guru, We Want Picks, Bedtime MMA, Kenny Okoye. Yeah. Hey, whatever variety you enjoy. You know, some people like sweet chili heat, some people like the Cool Ranch Doritos, okay? Whatever flavor you prefer. Now, I do relatively go in this blind. I've got over 3 years of knowing what the UFC is experience, and I've watched every single event for the past 3 years. Yeah. Every single event I've watched top to bottom for the past 3 years. That is my experience. That is where I sit, and we're going to be tracking the picks. So yes, I do care about them. Yeah, and we're going to open this tab real quick called Flip a Coin. And you'll figure out real quick what this is in reference to. I haven't seen any names here, but yeah, so we got what? Alexander Volkanovski taking on Lopez in the rematch. I think I've got kind of a hot take that might be on the thumbnail. Who knows? Damn, Dan Hooker's fighting. Okay, I thought that was later in the year. Damn, in January. Right after the Armin fight, eh? I respect it. Fiziev? Okay. Don't care about Ty. Quillen Salkin? Okay. Yo, this card's kind of cooking. Bumdidge is on it. Oh, we fell off. Ooh, we fell off. Con Offley. What the fuck? What are these names? Anyways, we're going to get into it. Let's get into it. Bottom to top. Namsrai Batbayar. I'm going to act like I know who that is. I am a UFC fan. I am a UFC watcher. I do not watch PF. No one asked. One true. No one cares. Okay? I watch whatever wing season, fucking backyard beef, street beefs, whatever it's called, and I watch the UFC, and that's about it. These people are obviously debuts because I don't know their name. I just know ball like that. I'm gonna go with taller. What weight class is this? This is flyweight. Ooh, this could be a good one. Flyweight notoriously on the channel, one of my favorite divisions. I'm going to pick. Dude, this guy's got face tats. See, I'm just worried because Tapology is picking this guy. And Tapology, when I don't know the fighter, Tapology, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10 for me, has always been wrong. If I don't know the fighter and Tapology is picking a fighter in that matchup, that one typically loses, okay? So I'm going to go with Aaron, all right? Aaron's going to get it done via decision because fuck it, it's flyweight and it's a debut. Honestly, this will probably be a finish. Debut fights are always risky, but I'm going to go with that. We move on. Never seen any... Actually, no. Shulangrag... I've seen this name before. Really? Maybe it was Road to UFC that I heard the name? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Another debut. Killers. New Zealand. I think this is what, Australia? It's either New Zealand or Australia. I think it might be New Zealand. Or is it Australia? It's got to be Australia, right? It's Volk. It's got to be Perth, right? We're going to assume this is Perth. I'm going to pick this guy. Why not? Fuck it. Decision. Don't care. It's debuts. We move on to another debut fight, man. What are we doing? The bottom half of this card's so shite. Holy shit. Anyways. We're gonna go with... Oh my god. We're gonna go with a fucking, taller, rangier, X-fight. What the fuck? Dude, what am I looking at here? We're gonna go with this guy, because he's smiling. Yeah. We're moving on. I swear... In my normal predictions, when I know the fighters, I swear I do a good job breaking down the fights. We move on. Dom Marfan versus Sang Uk Kim. Who the fuck are these people, man? What jobbers are we finding off the streets for this shit? We're going with the skin. What the fuck? What is this guy's topology picture? The street Buddha. The frog, man. What are we doing, man? You can't have an event with Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, and we lead into fucking the next event being 4 road to UFC debuts. Frogman versus the Street Buddha. Pack it up, UFC. Holy shit. We're going with Street Buddha, I guess. Fuck it. Moving on to fighters we actually know. Oh, okay, we actually know these ones. Con Offley. Not good. I don't think he's even that old. But he's just not good. Really struggles with anyone who has any brain cells. And Yija. A little bit of a warrior, if I'm not... Yeah. Wow. Wow. A Weston Wilson KO. Didn't he struggle for that one, too? I think he struggled to get that KO. I could be misremembering. By the way, I'm filming this like right after a job. I was just working. And I'm very tired. And my voice is kind of gone. And the weather's been shit. And yeah, I'm a little drained. Okay, but we're going to keep the energy high. We're going with Yeezaw. Con Offley sucks. Yeah, he submitted Ricardo Ramos. Dude, Ricardo Ramos... I only picked because he had highlight subs and he seemed like he knew what he was doing. That guy's so brain dead. So it makes sense why Con Offley beat him. Yeah, Muhammad Naimov is pretty good. Marin Santos, that's the actual frog, man. They're good. Marin Santos, I think Yeezaw isn't maybe as good as Marin Santos, but Yeezaw's... His striking's pretty good. losing to Gabriel Santos ain't bad. Gabriel Santos is really, really good. Arguably beat Lerone Murphy. I still think he beat Lerone Murphy. Continuing that narrative. But yeah, debut Gabriel Santos is a tough one. And yeah, that was like that wasn't like an embarrassing performance. That was just like, dude, you went against a really good guy. But yeah, Yizaw's got good striking. He's got good grappling, I think, from what we've seen. He can get held down. Don't think Con Offley's going to be that guy. He can be explosive in moments, so I'm a little worried there with Con Offley. But he also is very open on the feet, and he's slow. Like, he's not slow, but he's not... He's like medium speed. I don't know how to describe it. He's medium speed, and then he explodes for a little bit, and then he's back to medium speed for the rest of the fight, you know? Like, it's almost like he ults in his fight, and then he just does nothing afterwards. So I'm going to go with Yiza. I'm going to go via KO, and I reckon it'll be round 1 or 2. I'll go with round 2, just because I can see Yiza piecing up Con Offley. Maybe at end of round 1, it drags on to round 2, with Con Offley sort of surviving via trying to get takedowns, hugging against the fence. But because there's that finish bonus entailed now, that is something that needs to be brought up. I haven't watched any other predictors for this event. That's something I hope people bring up, because I do think there is a very big incentive for a lot of these low-level, bottom-of-the-barrel prelim fighters to be fighting for that bonus. Yiza strikes me as the type of dude who will fight for that bonus. So I reckon he's going to get pretty gun-heavy. He could lose. He could end up getting, like, standing rear naked like what happened with Ricardo. But in general, I trust Yiza a lot more than Con Offley. We're moving on. Jonathan Mikalev versus Oban Elliott. Now, this is an interesting one. MMA Guru's boyfriend is not bad, okay? The Welsh gangster is not bad. He's got good striking. He's got good grappling ability. He's not dangerous, and he has no sense of urgency. Those are the big takeaways, right? He's good everywhere, not great anywhere, but he's also not threatening. And that's where the opposite, where Jonathan Mikalev is fucking threatening and is dangerous. Kevin Jousset, that was his debut, right? Yeah, that was his debut. Kevin Jousset is a good kickboxer, but it wasn't like... Kevin Jousset was brain dead in that fight. That guy just didn't know what he was doing in there. Jonathan Mikalev, while he is young, just like Oban Elliott, he uses his kicks very, very well. He uses his distance very, very well. He's very confident in when he throws, so he will throw with everything. Like, I didn't see a lot of feinting from him in that Kevin Jousset fight. And if... yeah, Kevin Jousset. And if he is, like, going into this, and Oban really doesn't present any sort of mega threat, I do think Mikalev is going to win this, and he's going to probably leg kick TKO or body, like, hurt, in a similar way that, what's his name? Carlos Prates did to Rakic, where, like, Rakic went down to a body shot. I think that'll happen, but with a leg kick instead of a knee. Yeah, with Jonathan Mikalev's leg kick to the body, so a body kick. I think Mikalev will really, really hurt Oban's body. And I think Oban's going to have moments where he just looks lost in there. I'm picking Jonathan Mikalev. And that's mainly because Mikalev is... He has potential right now. We don't know his ceiling. We've seen Oban's ceiling. You know, the Korean Tyson that beat his ass, grapple fucked him, made Oban look like an absolute idiot. Oban made really dumb decisions. And Oban's... Now that we've seen him sort of quit, I haven't seen Mikalev do that yet. You know? I've seen Oban just get checked out and be like O'Malley versus Yadong when he gets taken down. It's just like, what can you do? And it's like, brother, I don't want to see that ever. I don't want to see that ever. So I'm going to trust Mikalev to get it done. I reckon it's going to be a body kick in round 2 or 3. I'm going to say round 3. Kevin Jousset showed different level of toughness in that. Oban, I don't think, is going to be as tough. If Mikalev does get grapple fucked, I'm not even that worried, right? Because, like, normally, when you're stuffing takedowns and you're fighting for positions against the cage and everything, that's a lot of grip strength. That's a lot of like, your arms working out. I can't think unless like Mikulev gets put on his ass and is really trying to fight for a fucking submission in round 1. I don't see how he gasses out his legs. And in round 2 and 3, I really think he's going to be hunting for a finish. And I think, again, because of that bonus, I really, really think these like lower level fighters are going to be hunting for that. Or when they see like, oh, I can get a finish here, they're going to go for it and not be as gun shy. So I'm going to rely on that a little bit more and pick Mikulev for this. But Oban Elliott's funny. He's got that, I guess. But yeah, like he's pretty stale, Like he will look lost in there. He will make bad decisions based on like kind of rushing in a way, and he will be content with just losing round, like losing a round. I don't know much about Mikulev's grappling. I can't remember. It was something special about his grappling. It was either he didn't know shit about grappling or it's that he's sneaky good with it. I can't remember which it is. But I'm gonna go with Mikulev via striking diff. And Oban will need a takedown, probably not shoot a sloppy one, and then it's like, yeah, Oban's fucked. That's what I think is gonna happen. Moving on, Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney. I'm going Torres Finney. He gets a lot of hate for his performance over Robert Valentin. And while it's arguable he did lose that fight, and he is very short for this weight class, dude, Malkoun's 5'9"? That can't be real. Malkoun also sucks. Dude. Hard collision. If you don't know what this is literally someone shot a takedown, and he shot a takedown so hard he got a concussion. That's what it was. The hips on Jacob Malkoun are dangerous. And we know Torres Finney is going to be shooting a fucking takedown. Torres Finney shoots a takedown on Malkoun. That hip game might knock him out. But I do think Torres Finney is actually like good. He's the underdog. Blood hasn't fought in 2 years, and Torres Finney's the underdog. I know it wasn't impressive debut though. I don't know, man. Like that seems crazy to me. Malkoun, I think, has a really good striking credentials. I haven't seen it, man. I've been around for 3 years, like I said. Even in that fucking Cody Brundage fight, Cody Brundage took a dive. It is what it is. I haven't seen this guy do well. Andre Petroski is dog shit. Some people say he's good. His grappling's good at least. He's dog shit. Torres Finney beats everyone on this guy's resume. Okay, maybe not Brendan Allen. But he beats pretty much everyone on Jacob Malkoun's fucking resume that Jacob's got to win over. Just off one performance. And I'm confident enough in Torres Finney to say that. I can trust this guy to just shoot. And he's only going to be slightly smaller with the reach advantage. I kind of like that. I kind of do like that. And I think this is going to be a classic. Big guy tries to get jiu-jitsu going. It doesn't work. And Torres Finney just fucking dominates via grapple fucking this guy. So we're going to move on. Cam Rouston versus Cody Brundage. Interesting. Who's Cam? Who did this guy fight? Andre Petroski. I think this was the fight that I was genuinely like, dude, Andre's going to win this one. And then this guy just smokes him. Based off a debut, right? Yeah. I'm going to pick Cody Brundage. That sounds crazy. I'm picking Cody Brundage. Cody's, funnily enough, been looking better. As like weird as that sounds with his weird career here. You have 2 draws / no contest. Yeah. No contest / draws in his last 5. 2 losses, not great looks. Eric McConaughey, not great. And I think some people thought that was a robbery. Bo Nickel, in hindsight, he did better than a lot of people thought he would have. Julian Marquez, I think that's where we started to see like something good from Cody Brundage, even though I think that was a pretty early KO, I want to say. I don't think that was like round 3 or something. Mansour Abdul Malik, I think we really saw his toughness and everything. And he's still young, you know? He's a bit dumb and he will take an out if there's an out. But he's tough. His grappling's there. I think he's I think wrestling wise he's better than Andre Petrosky. I can trust Cody Brundage to get a takedown over Andre on this Cam Rouston guy. Because this guy's tall as fuck, right? Yeah, 6'3". Yeah. I think Cody's probably gonna get a takedown here. I think he's gonna realize, like, dude, UFC's gonna cut me. Performance bonus if he gets a KO. Come on now. I'm picking Cody Brundage. I might regret it because this guy's career is dog shit. But I am gonna pick Cody Brundage. Maybe that's stupid of me because it is Australia and this is an Australian like prospect. We might be going through prospect fraud checks in 2026 part 2, you know? I think Cody Brundage might be leading the charge here. We move on. Yeah, Cam Rouston, he was doing good. I want to say he had his face cut up pretty bad. I want to say he was losing until he got that KO against Andre. To be honest. If I remember correctly, I want to say it was something like that. Like, he was not doing that well, and he ended up getting a KO. I'm going to go Cody Brundage. Toughness. He's going to survive. And I think at least he'll be live in round 3. You know? And if he's not live in round 3, I think it'll be 1-1 going into the third. And I think Cody might edge the third based on experience. Because he is, like, his cardio's not terrible. You know? He showcased it in the Malkoon fight. We move on. Junior Tafa. How the fuck is Junior Tafa so high on this card? How the fuck is this guy still employed? Oh, because he beat Sean Sharaf. God damn it. Who's what? No longer in the UFC? What the fuck are we doing with these people, man? This is light heavyweight, isn't it? Jesus Christ. I'll stand on it. I don't think Billy should be at light heavyweight. I think he should be at one weight class below. Junior could honestly go one weight class below as well. These guys are both similar in, like, physicality, I guess. Elkenna, grappling advantage, very clear. Junior Tafa, striking advantage, very clear. I think Billy Elkenna, if he doesn't get KO'd within the first 3 minutes off Junior Tafa waiting for one punch to KO someone and it not working, I think Bill Elkenna will probably shoot a takedown in the last minute to 2 minutes of round 1, get a takedown, look very dominant, and in round 2, he's going to instantly shoot a takedown and get a submission victory over Junior Tafa. Because Tafa has never shown he's, like, had brain cells. I almost went Tafa submission. That would have been bad. So I'm going to go early round 2 submission via Billy Elkenna. I don't like either of these guys. Either one of them getting fucked up, KO'd, or submitted, I'm happy with. Both of these guys are not UFC level in my opinion. And I really, you know, shout out to Artem MMA. I'm going to be picking against your boy again. All right, Tuco Tacos. The great Tuco Tacos I picked to beat Junior Tafa, and I was vindicated in my fucking prediction for that. So I'm going to ride again with Bill Elkenna. Yeah, we move on. Quillan Salkild versus Jamie Malarkey. Jamie's coming off a win, right? Yeah. Whoa, those odds. Wow, those odds. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Wow, those odds, huh? Huh. Wow. Now I knew who I was going to pick, but I didn't want to say like an obvious thing. Holy shit. Am I crazy in saying these are accurate odds? Like, I think Umar was like the biggest favorite on the last card, minus like 1600, minus 1800, something like that. Quillan Salkild arguably should be that. This should be a 1 + 1 = 2. I like Jamie Malarkey, okay? Jacob from We Want Picks, the freckled salamander over here. He's a good guy. He's a great guy, you know. But he's a little bit chinny. Chin is suspect, and the only way he wins is by outlasting in wars. Now I'm going to say that again. Chin is suspect, and the only way he wins is by outlasting wars. Okay? Quillan Salkild is fucking Quillan Sal killing everyone in the goddamn division. All right. I think he went to war with, yeah, Ashmuz. In hindsight, isn't that good looking. His flatline KO over Nasrat Hakparas that almost won him KO of the year last year kind of speaks volumes. And while I don't think it's going to be like that, I don't think it's a KO of the year. I think he puts down Jamie Mullarkey bad via just naturally being a better striker than Jamie Mullarkey. And he's going to put him down. Jamie's going to survive and look broken and look like he's about to cry like he normally does. Somehow makes it to round 2. And then it's just going to be that strike in the first, 30 seconds that puts down Jamie Mullarkey and kills him. I don't think it'll be a flatline KO. I think it'll be like he gets put down, he covers up. Ref is just like, this is over. Jamie Mullarkey looks like he's about to fucking cry buckets. Yeah, that's my pick. I think this is easy, cut and dry. 1 + 1 = 2. Quillan Salkild's a killer. I've been saying it since he had his debut against Anshul Chubli. I forgot that was his debut. What a debut, the Indian Khabib, some people call him, But yeah, Quillan Salkild's sick. I'm excited to see what happens. We move on. Tai Tuivasa is somehow still employed. 0-5? 0-5 in his last 5. How is he still employed? Nobody knows. Against Taliesin Teixeira. I think Taliesin got fucked over in his last fight. I think it was an early stoppage. I think this fight's going to go to decision. Ty's going to look for one punch that puts down somebody because he's just a fat dude who hits hard. And Taliesin Teixeira is going to not want to get KO'd because he's so tall and he knows he can be knocked down and he knows Tai Tuivasa is a fat dude who hits hard. So this is going to look a lot like Waldo versus Derek. But Waldo's going to be Taliesin and Derek's going to be Ty. I just think it goes to a decision instead, and we're in for a stinker. I think this potentially might be one of the worst fights of the year, and that's including that Waldo fight. Like, you thought that Waldo fight was bad. I think this fight's going to be much worse, Taliesin can get reckless. I think earlier in his career, he got really reckless. I don't think it matters. I think he's going to be scared to engage with anything, despite him being a big dude. We move on. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Huffy. Ooh, boy. I'm a Rafael Fiziev glazer. Okay, I'm not going to lie. And only the great Lucas Tracy can predict the downfall of Mauricio Huffy. Okay? So I'm curious what his opinion here is. He predicted the great BSD to fraud check Mauricio Huffy. Fiziev's really fucking good. I know he's coming off like a just barely win over Ignacio Bahamondes. Still a good win. His 2 Gaethje performances are bad looks just because of both ways he lost. He lost in wars. But that's good because Justin Gaethje just proved why he's pound for pound one of the best fucking war goers there is in the sport. He's maybe top 2 all-time warriors in the sport, and the only one above him I'd put is maybe Yuri. But even then, there's an argument that Justin Gaethje is a better a better warrior. But I'm going to say, based on Fiziev being 1 step lower in the war category than Gaethje, because both fights were 29-28s, I don't care that the first one may have been a 30-27 or whatever the fuck the scorecards was. They were both 2-1 Gaethje. And some people might view that differently on which rounds, but that's how I think it should have been scored, 2-1 Gaethje. Huffy did just get fucked in the grappling. Huffy is really good at striking, but it's the same thing with his fucking James Lontop fight. He doesn't throw enough to make rounds clear, and now that his aura's gone as the fighting nerds, most skilled guy, best guy, whatever, now that that's gone, I know Fiziev's chin's suspect. His anti-grappling's insane. Not worried about the grappling from Huffy at all. Okay. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. And anti-grappling's insane. I think his offensive grappling is, like Fiziev's, is pretty good when he wants to use it. He's not going to want to use it for this, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to. He has that tool, though. And him having that tool gives me a little bit more confidence. His speed is something to witness. And when you look at Huffy, his best strikes are the wild shit that are so wild that he how do I say it? Like, they're highlight reel KOs. What's Fiziev? One defining feature other than his speed in Muay Thai. His one defining feature is the fact that he dodges all the wild shit. So I'm picking Fiziev based off Mauricio Huffy not doing enough and being down in every round, and him sitting on his stool and the fighting nerds being like, yeah, you doing good, you doing good, you know? And Fiziev's in his corner just like, yeah, you're 15 strikes up in that round, you won that round, you know? No one got dropped, nothing happened. And I like that Fiziev's got grappling in his toolbox. I like that Fiziev has anti-grappling in his toolbox. Mauricio Huffy doesn't have anti-grappling pretty much at all. Mauricio Huffy also doesn't really have grappling in his toolbox at all. He relies on a stand-up. He relies on that one-hitter-quitter shot. Or the shot that, like, sort of makes you think, oh, shit, I can't get hit with another one of those. I think Fiziev's fine. Chin suspect. I don't think he's getting KO'd. I'm going to trust in Fiziev, my boy, one more time. We move on. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. You know, legends are making it. All right, let me tell you. Dan Hooker is getting this done. I'm sorry, Benoit. I'm sorry. Your time has come. All right? Again, for the third time. Okay? You are not getting past Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's winning this one. We're going to do Dan Hooker via fucking submission. KO. KO. We're going to do submission. We're doing Dan Hooker by KO. Yes. Arman Tsarukyan is a different level of fighter. Arman Tsarukyan is an insane level of fighter. I hate Arman. Fuck that dude. How dare you press my boy, King Bobby Green, in the elevator with your whole team. Fuck you. But he is legit skilled. He's got one of the best grappling in the entirety of the UFC. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, well, wrestling mainly. His IQ on the ground is another level. And Dan Hooker had really, really good moments in that Arman fight, despite him getting, you know, submitted. Benoit, if we're talking about submission threat, Benoit's not even in the same fucking category as Arman Tsarukyan, okay? Benoit isn't in the same category of wrestler as Mateusz Gamrot. Benoit isn't in the same fucking category in terms of danger on the feet as Jalen Turner, okay? Benoit is really good at pressing forward, surviving, getting into a dirty fight. You know who's the king of dirty fights? Justin Gaethje. But you know who's second place to that? Dustin Poirier. But you know who's third place to that? Dan fucking Hooker. And he's getting it done, alright? He's retaining that fucking gritty, toughness, surviving mentality. I am worried he's coming off that short notice, and that is a big, like, uh-oh, because he just fought, what, 2 months ago? Yeah, don't like that, because he had a forehead the size of a football. Really, really don't like that. Dude, Benoit is sick. He's good. But he requires his opponents to be bad in an area. Beneil Dariush, one of the chinniest fighters. Like, let's just be honest. I picked Benoit via first couple second KO. Like, come on, man. Mauricio Huffy, really bad at grappling. Really, really bad at it. You know? Kyle Prepperlek, need I say more? Hanato Moicano, really good in the grappling. Ends up beating Benoit Saint Denis. Dustin Poirier, really good at surviving a war. You know, like, dude, like, I know Dan Hooker isn't the same level as Dustin Poirier. But he's in that realm, you know? Like, Benoit Saint Denis, in terms of warrior, is like, you know, he's like a 7.5, right? Poirier is like a 9.9. Dan Hooker is like a 9.1, you know? Dan Hooker's not fucking quitting unless you put him out. And this is the type of fight where I think that matters. And then in the grappling, I also think Benoit's in for a rude awakening. Dan Hooker's grappling isn't dog shit. A lot of people are on the notion that Dan Hooker grappling sucks. I don't think it's bad. It's just that he doesn't offensively do it. And when you offensively do it to him, he tries to latch up something. Like we've seen him in the Gamrot fight. Like we've seen him in the Arman Tsarukyan fight. Like, he does know how to anti-grapple. And he hits hard. Even at, what, 35? Yeah, 35. It's not even that old, man. Out of these two, Benoit Saint Denis' chin is the most suspect. I'm picking Dan Hooker, even though it's a short notice turnaround. Fuck it, we ball. Moving on, Volkanovski Lopez 2. At last we will have our revenge. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Australian. At last we will have our revenge. Diego Lopez. Cue the fucking Duel of the Faith music. Da-da, da-da-da. Diego Lopez is getting fucking revenge. Alright, we're doing this. We are beating Volkanovski. I love Volk. He's a great guy, you know. Don't hate Volk. One of the best fighters ever. Featherweight GOAT. We are getting it done. We are getting it done via KO in round 2. I know, I think I had the same prediction. Diego Lopez. I know not much has changed. I bet before anyone's like thinking, oh, you know, people are just riding the Lopez train because of the Gene Silva fight. I picked Lopez to beat Gene Silva. I picked Lopez. I picked Lopez in every fight in his career. And I've only been wrong once, and that was the Volk fight. And you know what? There's an argument that fight was 3-2 Volk, okay? And Lopez just needed to win in the last round, and he couldn't get it done. I get that. Can Lopez be a bit of a punching bag? Yes. He's not getting chinned. We saw that. He's not going to get out-grappled. We saw that, okay? He might get taken down here and there. I don't think Volk is going to take him down. And here's what it comes down to more than anything. Lopez hasn't... If anything, Lopez hasn't changed. He's at bare minimum what he was during that title shot against Volkanovski. And that's worst Lopez. At best, Lopez is smarter. Lopez has a little bit better game plan going into this. Lopez is probably has a little bit better odds of knocking out a slightly older Volkanovski. You know, at worst, he's going into the same fight that was the first one. I really, truly feel this. If you watch the interviews after the fight with Volk Lopez, when he talked about the places he needed to go mentally and the things he needed to do mentally in order to get the belt back, in order to get to that mindset of like, I am still the man, I am this, you just see it in the interviews. It literally looks like it took decades off his soul, okay? And I don't mean that in a negative light, okay? I just don't think he's going to be able to do that again. Because we saw him get switched off in that Lopez fight. He got right back up. Eyes rolled back to the head. He got right back up. Respect the shit out of it. I don't think he's going to do that again, man. I really don't. I really don't. I think if he gets knocked down like that again, and Lopez has another 25 minutes to land that one shot, and there was so many punches in that fight, I have no clue how Volk didn't go down. All right? And you might be able to say pillow-fisted Diego Lopez. Maybe he is pillow-fisted. But you know what? That elbow ain't pillow-fisted. We found out what happened to Gene Silva. And I really truly feel Lopez is going to win this one. You know? I do give the edge to Lopez. I think if he tackles this fight as a stall in the early rounds so that Volk can't bank them, and that you can sort of tire out Volk a little bit, maybe with the grappling, maybe a little bit with the offensive grappling, and be a little less headhunty, because it was very obvious he was trying to chin Volk. If he tackles this as like, you know, body shot, leg kicks, you know, spinning shit. Like, if he mixes in things well, he will beat Volk in this fight. And I think we're talking about the version that Volk just fought, because this is like an instant rematch for Volk. Damn, that was 9 months ago. Holy shit. I don't like... Volk was talking about retirement. Now he's talking about retaining the belt for years to come. I don't like that. I think this is... Oddly enough, that's him having like one foot out the door in my mind. I think he's saying that to try to hype himself up. Like, yeah, I can still do this. Yeah, I'm still basically in my prime. Yeah. No, you're not. You know, I really don't think he's going to be able to go to war with Lopez for another 25 minutes. And I think it'll just be that one shot. Because we know Lopez has a cinder block as a head. He's not going down, man. And as long as he changes just a few things in that first fight, Lopez will win. Or it's going to be Volk on a bicycle for 25 minutes. What is more likely? Lopez finds that one shot that puts him away. It doesn't matter how many times you land a spinning elbow on Lopez. He only needs that one spinning elbow to knock your ass out, Gene Silva. And he didn't fall for the antics either. He didn't fall for the fucking Gene Silva antics. Dude, we might get clear-minded Lopez in this fight. If that's the case, we get Zen Lopez. It's over. This guy's getting his revenge, no problem. You know, he ain't getting cut in half, being thrown down a fucking elevator chute. You know, he's beating Obi-Wan. And then he's going on to be the Sith apprentice he was always meant to be. Alright? He will be Ilya Taporia's fucking apprentice by the end of this. Alright? Diego Lopez in the rematch, in my opinion, I'm picking him to beat Alexander Volkanovski. This fight is close for a reason. I think people are dick riding Lopez now that he's beat Gene Silva, and your boy Gene Silva got fucking fraud checked. Alright? Welcome to the wave, baby. I've been riding this shit since day one. Welcome. Alright? And I think Volk is really, really good. He can win this fight. He can. Way more understanding of him winning this fight than I was the first time around. I'm still picking Lopez. I'm still picking him. That is my official prediction for UFC 325. If you made it to the end of the video, I want to thank you for watching. Friendly reminder, I will be streaming this event. Tune in Saturday. But I hope you have a good day.